about the power of music. It moves us emotionally, physically, cognitively in a very profound way. And so music has been used forever. It's in all human cultures. I can't imagine a protest without music, because not only does music perpetuate and reflect a culture's values and views, it can be used to challenge the status quo. And we're seeing now a lot of powerful songs written by great women singer-songwriters who are doing just that, challenging the underlying things that support this culture of male violence against women. So we hear things from Lady Gaga and from Awkwafina and from Beyonce. There's a whole lot that allow people to listen to the song and say, gee, that's my story. I'm hearing my story in their words and their music. And then in music therapy and in use of music, we can then use that music, the creative, not just listening to the music, but creating music. And that's where music really comes a powerful medium for giving out and putting up our voices and our stories through song, where others can then hear them. We can use that in our personal lives just every day when we listen to music and we listen to women singer-songwriters, but then we can also take it into the therapy where we look for personal transformation, but then we can also take it out into the public sphere where we all can use music to bring about profound societal change. My hope for this project was that it would address all the underpinnings of all the overt and covert forms of violence against women. The project, with its initial focus on campus, I wanted to ensure that it was by women, with women, and for women university students. So it was an integral part of it that the university students would be giving their own voices to their own stories or their own takes. And of course, as singer-songwriters, we choose how much vulnerability we want to take on, whether we want to put our own lives, our own stories into the song, or maybe sing for others or sing it broader. So my hope was that with working with them that we would come together and explore a greater understanding of male violence against women, and take that then and give voice to that through the songs. And then ultimately, the point, the hope for the end goal for this project was to make all of these resources available online with open access to everybody, so that it's not just a personal exploration or personal transformation amongst these students that I worked with and myself, but for all women, so making it out there available to the world and looking to bring about both a personal and a socio-political transformation.
First time I had seen that video, it was the graphic scenes that really impacted me, and coming at it now, it was nice to have the scenes of support stand out more, and I think it took a few times watching it to focus on that side of it.
Flashback scenes, you can't ever get away from it. It's like with you for as long as you live. Mm-hmm. It's a huge scar.
For me, a lot as well was when the Believe Me message came on, the music kind of pauses or comes to like a stop. And I thought that was just really powerful. Also, when she sings Till Your World Burns and Crashes, really you could see how consuming that it was for all of them.
Thank you, Lady Gaga, for using her power to do something like this. That I really, hats off.
Rape culture is a term that really catches people's attention, but it's important to note it's not really just rape culture. All the types of male violence against women are interconnected, so it's really a culture of male violence against women. And each of those related, but underneath them is an underpinning that supports all of them. And that's the more subtle things that we don't always see or maybe pay as much attention to. So that includes male entitlement and privilege, sexism, misogyny, and gender inequality is really effectively what underpins the culture that allows, permits, condones male violence against women. So we need to understand that and need to increase an understanding of the awareness of that amongst everybody. So it means that we need a more profound change, not just gun control, not just stopping physical violence. We have to have a profound change in the way that men and women think about themselves and about each other, so we don't end up with a culture that blames and shames victims of violence and holds them responsible for stopping it, but instead puts the shame and the blame where it belongs, rightly on the shoulders of the person who's abusive, and holds them responsible, so holding men responsible for not raping rather than holding women responsible for not being raped.
Women getting paid less for doing the same jobs, or not getting the jobs at all.
Mm-hmm. So you consider that maybe an covert?
Covert, yeah.
You know, put their hand on the woman's back and you know, it's like a bit of a control. It's subtle, it's maybe even sexual, but it's normal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or that goes along with the mansplaining and man interruption too.
Yeah.
That,
Should I write those on this?
Yeah, maybe that should have gone over there, but
Well, no, I just mean that I meant that the entitlement goes along with
goes
that.
yeah
Because
yeah,
it's
definitely.
because it's kind of feeling like the need to give up.
The process was a really cool experience. The workshop just kind of helped me to, I guess, understand a little more what we were doing and what kind of message we wanted to portray through this project. And then as far as after the workshop, after having those conversations and just seeing how open everyone was, it was a very open dialogue, and I just felt very safe and able to share my thoughts on things, my experiences. And I think that helped with being able to write such a personal song because I had such a strong support with the other girls. I was really looking forward to the studio recording of it because I had never really done professional studio recording before. Like, some of my friends have home studios, and so that's the closest I've gotten, but this was a totally different experience. It was really empowering, I felt. And then as far as going on with the music video, I had a friend from back home that dabbles a bit in video editing, and we've worked together in the past, so I definitely trusted her input. And so it was definitely, I felt really vulnerable opening up, even though she was a close friend, and just kind of telling her my ideas and also listening to hers. And we went back and forth for a while to figure out a vision for the video, but we were both pretty happy of how it turned out and proud of it. I think it had a pretty good balance of understanding that these things might stay in your head for a while, but that doesn't mean you can't move on from them.
Really wonderful experience to go through this, and I feel like learning about other people's stories has really broadened my understanding of this issue, and I feel honored to have been a part of that process.
So tell me about your song.
I start off the song and my lyrics with a little bit more subtle, not really naming what it is exactly that I'm singing about, and with more maybe metaphors. But then as I go through the song gradually, it's kind of outlining my process, my thought process of not quite, or being fearful of recognizing what male violence against women is, and then slowly, and then going through a questioning phase, and then naming it for what it is, and then finding power within myself to confront it, to challenge it. Yeah, I wanted to make it really personal with, and put myself in the song, so that's when you hear, I'm singing in English, of course, but I also, I have a Francophone background, so I put a little bit of that in there too. Mm-hmm. And then after that I reference being a chink, which is has a lot of negative connotations, but I'm putting it in a context where it's kind of to empower and to reappropriate a word that has negative connotation. And so yeah, like I really wanted to put myself and my personal, like when we talk about intersectionality, you know, I really wanted to show that because it's so much part of who I am.
You shape me with your eyes. Behind that smile, you're in disguise. Your arms that hold me hold the shell. I'm not really there, but you can tell. I hear your voice that screams its whisper. The feeling echoes through my chambers. You're woven into the very fabric of my everyday politics. You'll only change when you're put to shame, and when the world can call you by your name. But then again, I speak too soon. Maybe I'm asking for the moon. 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 You say I'm nice, cute, and sweet. Make no mistake, though I'm not weak. I don't need your quick fixes. Come on, let's be realistic. Will I have to wait until I die to get a decent piece of the pie? Thank you very much for your help, but I can do this by myself. You'll only change when you're put to shame, and when the world can call you by your name. Mais encore, I speak too soon. Pourtant je te demande pas la lune. Pourtant je te demande pas la lune. Pourtant je te demande pas la lune. No, I'm not asking for the moon. No, I'm not asking for the moon. You hide behind love and tradition, but your face is crumbling. Fathers and sons, if you seek, then you shall see where we are and where we used to be. Glass will shatter, give me back my power. Now's the hour, tu vois la vie en pink. Taxes, watch out for this chink. I won't relax, I'm not really who you think, but I'm enough, I'm enough, I'm enough, I'm enough to break the glass and take back my power. Now's the hour, tu vois le monde en pink. Caller, watch out for this chink. I won't relax, I'm not really who you think, but I'm enough, I'm enough, I'm enough, I'm enough to break the glass and take back my power. Now's the hour, tu vois le monde en pink. Caller, watch out for this chink. I won't relax, I'm not really who you think. I've had enough, had enough, had enough.
I liked the play on the words that she did from the beginning to after. It kind of showed a resistance building up throughout it.
Starts to sound angrier and angrier, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
When I started thinking about writing it, I think what came to mind was all the stories that I've heard from different people and these big events that have happened that have had the most impact on me. And so I wanted to develop something that acknowledged some experiences that people have had on a bigger level that have taken place here, right in Montreal, and then across the country and in the world. And to me, those are the experiences that had the most impact on me when I've read about them or I've had a particular connection. And I wanted to acknowledge that in this way that had a song that had a verse devoted to all these different experiences, and then ending with this idea of the Women's March as being something looking forward into the future that is now an annual event that happens. And interestingly, it's actually something I wasn't able to attend the first year it happened, and I remember that some of my music students went and attended it, and that was something that was really powerful to me, is seeing the next generation being brought up with this idea that we need things to change.
14 beams of light shine out like ghosts in the dark, whispers of the day when their lives were torn apart, forced in a crowd to feel shame at what made them proud, the hate that brought the end before the start. Families cry out in grief, a mother, sister, daughter, and a granddaughter or niece. We seek the truth while they claim that there isn't proof. A red willow basket hears our pleas. De l'histoire qui revient, voices speaking out for those they've lost, and they tell you no more will we wait like times before. On n'oubliera rien, on se souvient. As power spreads its darkness, the butterflies take flight. They beat their wings against the wind, relentless was their fight. Stopped in the rain, broken till they felt no pain, and swept off the earth in the night. De l'histoire qui revient, voices speaking out for those they've lost, and they tell you no more will we wait like times before. On n'oubliera rien, on se souvient. A gathering of young and old, from close and far away, a march for freedom, justice, change. Today will be the day. A child full of pride smiles at those by her side. Her sign raised, she joins the chant to say, on n'oubliera rien, on se souvient.
I love the incorporation of like the protest footage. I thought that was really powerful.
Yeah, me too. Really makes you feel like you're part of something bigger and stronger.
My song came definitely from a very personal point. It was based on like something that had happened to me in high school, and I had been wanting to write a song about it for a really long time, so this was definitely a great opportunity to do it, and I just suddenly like felt encouraged to, because originally I wasn't sure what my song was going to be about, and then one night it just kind of happened. I just like got up and then just wrote it all in one night, and it just happened that way because I just had like kind of a stroke of inspiration. And I really wanted to emphasize the idea of a lot of the times when we experience male violence against women, especially personally, like it's not something that ever really goes away in your mind. You're always thinking about it, you always have flashbacks about it, and but that doesn't mean that you can't come into yourself and like still live a full life and become empowered to still live your best life despite of all that. In my song, I wanted to show a clear distinction and kind of the back and forth that goes on in people's minds when they experience something like this, because there is like a constant battle between being in denial or feeling shame, but then also feeling like you want to speak out about this because you know that it happens to so many people, and it's this constant battle, and like I still haven't fully figured it out yet, but I'm starting to get there.
Yesterday, I thought I saw you right beside me in this new town where I'm trying to find home. Just when I thought I'd finally lost you, you were haunting me behind every door. I should have known it wouldn't go, but here I stand. Why should I listen to you anymore when you're dead to me? Why can't I lie on the floor and erase you from my memory? I look at you, I see a monster, but then how many monsters lie among us? You're detrimental. How dare you even show your face around here anymore? I should have known it wouldn't go, and here I stand. Why should I listen to you anymore when you're dead to me? Why can't I lie on the floor and erase you from my memory? You've got no power anymore, can't claim your hunger anymore. I won't stop speaking, no I won't. Why should I listen to you anymore when you're dead to me? 'Cause you're dead to me. I recognize that empty feeling inside. Won't let it get to me. I won't let you get to me. Oh, 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 oh,
It made me think about how early on in life we can learn that the world is an unsafe place and that people can't be trusted, especially as young women or girls.
Yeah.
You know? It made me think about that.
Yeah.
I wanted to also be a contributing participant equally with the students as well, as we were learning together and sharing and exploring the issues together. So I also included one of my songs. The song To Be Free I wrote actually for a woman I was working with at a battered women's shelter. And typically in music therapy, I write songs with the women, but this woman had been confronted just before the session by her abuser in a violent situation, and so she wasn't able to continue after that, and she had to relocate for her own safety, so I wrote the song for her. But it was her story that she brought to the therapy room with the Crime Digest that told in very blunt, cold, objective ways about her ex-boyfriend attacking her. And so I took that story and put it to song. And then added some images. The audio recording of the song I gave to the woman. But I think most powerful, profound for me was that up until the time she brought that in, she came in at that day very angry, and that was the first time I'd seen her angry. She had always been, well, maybe it's my fault, I need to be doing something differently. Everybody tells me it's my fault that I choose the wrong guy or I do the wrong thing. But she came in and angry and realizing that no, she did not deserve this. So it was a real turning point in her life. And I wanted to portray that in the song and ultimately in the hopes of all women to be free.
The words in the paper were plain and simple, no apparent emotions attached. Headline stated starkly, Crime Digest, December 1st, 1995. Underneath, laid out in neat little columns, countless stories of other people's lives. But one woman's story, not much different from the rest, caught my eye. It said a man was arrested Tuesday. A woman said he tried to pull her in his car. She said they struggled, she resisted. He grabbed her purse and punched her in the eye. Facts were told so cold, the names we must withhold to protect the innocent. Simply mentioned his relationship, her ex-boyfriend, in a brief aside. All I ask is that you hear my voice and listen to my story. Like all other women seeking safety, we want to be free. She said he punched her in the face. Her eye was swollen and bruised. Facts were told as given, nothing inferred, no judgments made. Why does this story haunt me so? Why does it stay with me night and day? Why do I feel there's so much more to be read between the lines? I'll tell you my secret I've told others, none have heard. That woman was me. All I ask is that you hear my voice and listen to my story. Like all other women seeking safety, we want to be free. The papers tell our stories in terms of love. Is it love gone wrong or simply hate? Some people look at me, they shake their heads with words no different than what he said. The words trap my heart like clip wings to a bird, more harmful than any blow. Some say stand by your man, others ask why don't you leave him? I ask why won't he let me go? All I ask is that you hear my voice and listen to my story. Like all other women seeking safety, we want to be free. All we ask is that you hear our voices and listen to our stories. Like all other women seeking safety, we want to be free.
They thought they could bury us. They didn't know we were seeds, because that was on signs, and so many signs at the Women Marches that I've attended the last 2 years.
That's so beautiful. Wow. The song, but the quote at the end too.
Really
Amazing.
powerful quote.
And I love the way that when you say "I'll tell you a secret" too, it all of a sudden it's speaking directly to us. You know, that was really powerful.
Why didn't you listen? Wanted to obviously point to something about rape culture, but without having it be too much of a blindside or too obtuse or too pedantic, but without glossing over anything. So I decided to make it into a trajectory where it's kind of in a victim blaming theme, and then having that person, sort of a victim of a crime, coming through to thinking, I can save myself, I can come to here, and then moving it up into shining the light on the problem. So it's kind of moving from the dark to the light. So that was the major principle of it.
Why didn't you listen? Why did you go out with him? Why did you wear that cute top? You should have known better. I don't mean to be a pest, but why didn't you tell us? You should have called right away, and we might have done something. Why didn't I listen? Why did I go out with him? Why did I wear that cute top? I should have known better. I could have told them sooner. I could have gone home walk free. Somebody would have done something right. Wait a minute, just a minute. I really did listen. Obeyed all of your rules now. Thought I knew him better. I didn't think he was cruel, and when I told you, nobody could hear me. How do you want me to say it? You should have known better.
It gets to the point where the princess has got to rescue herself. We gotta take care of each other. Bring a candle to the spotlight to illuminate our minds, to illuminate our lives. We got to take care of each other. We're shining a light 'cause we love her.
We're gonna shine a light on it. Light on it. We're gonna defy it. Defy it. Yes, we're gonna testify on it. Testify on it. Not gonna deny it. No, 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 no. We're gonna shine a light on it. Light on it. Shine your light. We're gonna defy it. Defy it. Time has come to defy it. Gonna testify on it. On it. Testify.
Not gonna deny it.
No more time for denying. We're gonna shine a light on it. Light on it. Time to shine your light.
gonna deny it. No more time for denying.
We've got all these different reactions, and that end with just the pure joy of shining the light on it.
Both like vocally, your tone, and like just like the contrast and like the way you guys were singing during the second half. Like there was just like so much happiness in that in contrast with the beginning, and I feel like a lot of women experience that themselves. They go through that period of like grief and denial before they like come into themselves and empower themselves.
Kind of a catharsis.
Mm-hmm.
When I came to write the song, it started off being very I think that we'd talked about this too in one of our meetings or an email about how it was very personal at first and very descriptive of specific things that had happened to me. And then I was afraid that the people involved would recognize themselves in it. And then I was hit by this, shame and not wanting to ruin other people's reputations, and then it was like, why am I worrying about that? And so there was just a lot of transformation happened for myself throughout the process. And then in the end, though, what is it that I want to take away from all of this, and what is it that I want, or that I think is more universal? And that's what ended up being in the song.
I lost my dreams to oppression. I lost my hope to suffocation. I lost my confidence to fear of failure. But now I take them back. I lost my spirit to denigration. I lost my will to pure exhaustion. Lost my autonomy to deep solitude. But now I take them back. I lost my beauty to your opinion. I lost my body to criticism. I lost my vision to your ignorance. But now I take them back. I choose to stand tall and hold my head high. Those who drag me down, they don't matter anymore. I choose a path of truth. I choose a life of light. I have my health. I have my radiance. I have myself and my tenderness. I have my womanness. My womanness. I have my health. I have my radiance. I have myself and my tenderness. I have my womanness. My womanness. I have my womanness. My womanness.
I love the jauntiness of it, and the fact and how you say, I'm taking back myself, because you always have that, and it's always something that you can transform and can be anything that you want it to be. It's very important to think about when you have so many people twisting your narrative and putting things on you and putting things on your body and that sort of thing. So I love that.
For a long time, the terminology in working with women, we talked about victims, and then women said they don't want to be seen as victims, that their violence doesn't, their experience of violence doesn't define them. It's not all they are. And then so the term moved to survivors. But even surviving, I think this captures that there's more than just barely surviving that's possible.
It's a very vulnerable thing to do, to put yourself out there, especially when you're speaking on your own experiences. And like it's this weird mix of like being scared, feeling vulnerable, but also being empowered.
I really want to thank you all for having the bravery to be vulnerable and to create your song, because I really hope these songs will be resources for people to go to and hear and understand what women's experiences are, and other women, as well as men hoping maybe to be better allies, the good men who need to learn to speak up and stand up, not because it's their wife or their daughter or something, because every single woman needs them to speak up for them.
Music, it can send a very powerful message, but still be very approachable to people. The music has a way to retain its power in the message, but also reach people more easily.
I really do hope to continue, if I can, using music to talk about this stuff. Just let's continue to shine the light.
No more denying it is here.